MMOs, otherwise known as the home to the most shut-off elitist community, but sometimes you get a story about how a community comes together to help out their fellow player. However, this is an anime about walking red flags. You Never Thought There Was a Girl Online is an anime about reverse catfishing. We follow our main protagonist, Rusian, in the world of Legendary Age. We open with him being confessed to in-game, but he's not falling for that one again, women aren't real. However, he does eventually say yes to her proposal, mainly because he has no luck in real life. We follow the guild Alley Cats, consisting of the protagonist, a tsundere, a mental asylum escapee, and a pain to win. They all start wondering why he's been rejecting Ako's advances all this time, and that's when we learn his first love was a man. After that, he had to go on a spiritual journey alone, and from that journey, he comes to one conclusion only an enlightened can reach. Female or femboy, it's female enough. After 4 years together, they finally decide to see what they all look like, and I never thought there were any girls online. Well, surprise, not only are they all girl gamers, they also attend his school. They all try to keep their online and real life separate though.
Hi, Rusian!
All but one. Not on purpose though, she genuinely cannot differentiate between real life and the game. She doesn't understand that they aren't their in-game characters, and since they're basically the only people she can talk to, let alone call friends, that becomes a problem. As the conversation continues, Ko gets informed and somehow they already have their own club. Akane tries to walk away, but with a new powerful PC and the price around these days, it's hard to resist. With Ako spending more time with him in class, he gets pulled aside by the teacher who wants to understand their relationship, but really is to thank him, because we also see Ako mostly talks to herself and sometimes skips school. And then we learn a terrible truth. Ako doesn't use any gear with good stats, only cosmetics, and Kyo is useless without paying for good items. However, it's clear the club's purpose is backfiring. Ako's sense of reality is blurring even more, and to make things worse, the club will be abandoned without an advisor. With time running short, he goes to get some advice and is told to just be himself. So he talks to her alone in the club room, trying to handle it delicately.
I want that booty, Tom!
You can't have my booty!
So he heads back for more advice in the game, heading to Nekohime. However, Ako shows how much of a stalker she can be. But then all of a sudden she doesn't show up to school. When he logs in, he finds out she's planning to meet up with a man she doesn't even know. He doesn't know what to do, until the others remind him he's been the complete opposite extreme compared to her, constantly pushing her advances away. Then it hits him. He does have feelings for her, in and out of the game. With him catching up to Ako, we learn that Nekohime, the cat girl he proposed to years ago, was actually his homeroom teacher. Before he can even process that information, Ako goes to protect her husbando's honor. And just like that, we have a new club representative. But Ako's sense of reality is only getting worse. And from here the pattern continues, and she even runs off, upset because Normie's dead approach her. And speaking of Normies, Akane's friend enters and finds out her secret. Later in game, with the others missing, Ako and Hideki go on multiple quests together. We even see how they first met, and she's been a red flag since the beginning. With Ako trying to turn this into a rogue, they leave, and we get to witness Nekohime's tier 3 sub-army. And then a new waifu joins. Wow, I wonder who this could be. A new player who just so happens to know him? After that session ends, Ako wants to change things up a bit, so they all decide to play a first-person shooter instead. And even though it's her first time playing an FPS, Ako is surprisingly good at sniper. With them playing all throughout the night, and right before Ako becomes what politicians think games do to you, we see Nanako, and surprise to no one, she's a new player who joined them. After overstepping her boundaries, Ako storms off. He logs in to talk to her and clean things up, but she shuts everyone out, planning to quit school and fully disappear into the game. With some encouragement from the others, he decides to go talk to her face to face, with her mother greeting him, thanking him for coming, and leaves him with the key to Ako's room.
Please be gentle.
And we get to see the state she is in, as well as her becoming a true sniper main. But he's not there to lecture her, he's there to have fun with her, to teach her about the game. And he shows gradually that she does have real friends who will genuinely miss her, reminding her that he'll always be waiting for her. She decides to give school another try, and while she's still struggling to hold a conversation, she's at least trying. With it time for the club to start, Nanako will be joining them today with her job investment quest, with her now becoming a summoner. However, final exams are now on the way, and that means it's time for the club to be on hiatus. With Hideki and Ako heading home, it's clear she has not studied, and so he has decided to teach her in the game with the others backing him up. With her barely scraping by, they all head off for tonight, except Hideki, as he's asked Kyo and Akane for advice. He wants to confess his love to Ako, with them telling him, yeah, it's safe to say she won't reject him. With them still wanting to help in him some way, it's a way at least, he sets the mood and asks her if she will be his girlfriend.
No thanks.
And so the next day they all arrive to summer camp, with the internet being turned off, as they want Ako to learn to socialize and for him to confess to her, but that part's all down to him. With just Ako joining him on the beach, the two start to warm up to each other. However, with the others coming out, they realize they both don't have sunscreen on. With Hideki getting the Diddy treatment, they go for a swim. However, with the advisor realizing there's not enough fan service, they have to play out on the sun more. With the day over, Ako and Hideki sit down together. Teru decides to set the mood. With Ako grateful about what she has now, he finally tries once more with his confession. However, his rank as her husband in game still trumps being together in real life. However, we can't sit on that for too long, because now they're heading off to a hotel, hosting a special in-game event, special key access, in-game purchases from food in real life, and their own private computers. And so they log on, and it's just Ako and Hideki alone in a hotel room, and you already know where this is gonna go, nowhere. Because he gets kicked from the game. Someone else has logged into his account. He rushes to tell Ako what happened and quickly realizes why he couldn't log in earlier. He sent his info to a fake website. With his counter deleted, items being sold and years of progress gone, he decides to log into an alt account. And through contacts and connections, a bunch of players actually come together to help recover his stolen items. With them informed about the scammer bragging in chat about what he did, Hideki gets an idea. They stay up for days planning. Ako even brings him food while he's planning. And I'm actually kind of impressed to what they pulled off. They set up a fake trade meetup to catch him in the act, gather evidence of all his past scams, and build an entirely fake website with old looking messages logs. With it paying off in the end as Hideki actually gets his account back. With summer break over, the culture festival is coming up, and Kyo gets the idea to win a tournament in a PvP game where their school's emblem is their flag. With them realizing that against a lot of other players they are out of their league, they plan on taking on another guild before the real deal. However, with another guild going first, it's clear they have no chance, and with nothing working too much, Nekohime's fan group has taken over the castle. So, they and another top ranked group decide to form an alliance, with the other guild taking more of the lead, with them getting to the castle, with Ako and Nanako being used as decoys, but it's clear the other guild can do this all by themselves. With the castle taken, the alliance is off and Wallenstein betrays them, taking over the castle for themselves. With them all meeting up in the club room, we see that Ako has finally got the maid outfits for her class. But she has not prepared anything at all, and so Hideki pleads with the other classmates for help. And with that, he gets an idea for the game, with him recruiting Nekohime's alliance as well as asking another guild to team up to deter the lower level guilds from attacking them. With the castle back up for grabs again, it's clear Wallenstein would rather fight the winners than protect it all. So another guild has already taken over the castle. With their guild taking the castle, Wallenstein is back, and with the fight underway, everyone is giving it their all. With Wallenstein left down to 2, the leader is able to get to the throne room. However, Wallenstein is no match for a credit card. With them running down the clock to win, it's time for the festival to begin. With Ako and Hideki alone, they go to share their first kiss. And with that, the anime is over. It's a shame really, the anime had to end here, and with no official release of the light novels or the manga in English, it's safe to say, with it being 10 years now, that the themes of this anime would never be fleshed out for us to see. I want to say this anime has a message about how life is boring and we look to games and more to escape reality, and getting into other groups or making friends as a recluse is hard. But this anime is way more in the comedy than the real talking points, and to be honest, that's okay. To those of you who can read Japanese, I am curious, does it play more with those themes or is it comedy all the way through? Let me know in the comments below, and while you're there, why not like and subscribe? It helps me out a ton. And speaking of helping me out a ton, thank you to today's supporters. It means the world to me that you would support a channel like mine. In the case, I have been FearfulMilk, and I'll see you all in the next video.